tell if we're live yet, but we will find out eventually. Let's make this window bigger. Kind of. I need to be able to see what I'm doing on my screen. Alright, we got that. Let's resize that. Looks like we're still widescreen enough. Wait for that to catch up on stream. That looks really freaking weird, doesn't it? That looks better. Alright. Got my chat off to the side there. My car driving around. Hello, the one person in the live stream right now. If you can let me know how the sound is, that would be great. Just to make sure the game sound isn't too loud, I'm not too loud, or I'm not too quiet. Yeah, no. As I drive through these bushes. Game sounds a little bit loud. Alright, well let's turn that down. Ooh, that might be loud right now. That was a failed crash. Loud noise. Alright, well, cool. So, now we can probably get started. If you're joining us, and you're a viewer of my past live streams, welcome back. This one's going to be a little different in that instead of just me staring into the camera and talking aimlessly, I'm going to be driving in a video game and talking aimlessly and endlessly about random crap that we want to talk about, as per usual. So, yeah, if you've got any conversation topics, I've got my chat open on the side here, so feel free to ask some questions or start up some conversation. We're usually pretty techie people here, so computer-related stuff is probably best for me as well, because I can, more easily talk about that. This game, in case you're wondering, it says right in the title, is BeamNG.drive, which is a, I don't know what you call it, maybe a soft body physics simulator, or just a beam-based physics simulator, something like that, I don't know. Basically, you crash into things and it looks really freaking cool, especially in slow motion. Also, game's still a bit loud. Alright, turn it down a little bit more. On my end, it shows like it's not even registering right now, but it really is. Are you into 3D printing? Yes, and I actually just bought a new 3D printer. Monoprice Maker Select Plus, or something like that. It's the, out of the 4 tiers of them, it is the 3rd one, so it's not quite the best one because that was $700, but it is a good one, very good quality. So I've been printing in a couple things lately. I bought some PLA because the ABS that I was trying to print on my previous one, that printer was rather trash, and it wouldn't be able to heat up enough to actually melt the ABS. So for this one I decided, let's be easy, let's start with PLA and kind of perfect the idea of printing. I don't really care if, it's the most sturdy thing in the world, I just want it to actually come out on the printer. So yeah, I printed a couple things, basically just test things. I printed actually a handle for my snow shovel. One that, on most shovels that I've ever seen, you've got the handle on the back, and then you've just got the entire, I don't know if it's the right word, I like this word because it's funny, the entire shaft of the snow shovel, and there's nothing on it for you to hold on to. So this is basically a grip that attaches to that, allows you to get a little more leverage, which is kind of handy. Other than that, I haven't printed too much because I only had it for a couple days, but I really like it a lot more than the other one. I got maybe successful prints out of about 100 on the 3D printer, so I am 4 for 5 on the new one, which is pretty exciting. So, moral of the story, if you have a little bit of money to spare, don't buy the cheapest 3D printer because you're gonna freaking hate it. It's gonna be awful. I'm all for doing it yourself, building it, learning, but 3D printers, I don't know, they're just so finicky and so difficult to get right. I wouldn't recommend it for a first timer. I would actually recommend spending more money, not a ton, but a little bit more to get something that's almost completely assembled and it has a little more functionality. But that is, of course, my opinion. This level takes forever to load. There we go. Alright, any suggestions about what I should go down this ramp with? We have a couple more. That's about all the ones that are interesting. There's an SUV and a couple trucks down at the bottom. Alright, you guys can pick one if you'd like, and I'm just going to go ahead and choose this one for now. Now, as I think I said earlier, that's a nice sound. Game, you can slow down the simulation. So now I'm running at 100 times slow motion. I can speed it up so it actually does something to, let's get going a little bit more. 16 times. Impact and everything roll off of it. Really cool stuff. That was actually kind of a lame one. Usually I roll down this thing and there we go. Just like that. Nice. And into beautiful. Exactly how I want it to go. Alright, shall we start again? Somebody said Thunderbird. Which one would be the Thunderbird? Probably that one would be closest? The Gravel Barstow? Or Gavril Barstow? Hell, we'll go with it. Is the game free? No, it is not free. It used to be. They had a tech demo which was really cool, and you can probably still find it, but it's pretty limited. You can't do any kind of mods or add any extra cars, and it's at this point probably 5 years old. The game, I think, is $20, and it is worth every single penny. This is one of the games that I never get tired of. I mean, I can do this ramp over and over and over again. I never get tired of it because there's always something a little bit different about every single jump. So that kind of mixes things up. So if we can make it to 400, there we go. Imagine, like, doing that to your own car. You'd probably be dead, honestly. And of course, it does still drive, because why wouldn't it? You just did a stoppie with the nose of your car. Of course it still drives. Nice. Alright. Back up to the top. We'll do one more, and then maybe we'll go to a different track, because this is... I like this one, but it's not my favorite. Let's go with... Oh, let's take the school bus down there. That'll be cool. We'll do the stock school bus, not the tuned speedy school bus, because that would just be too cool. It's taking forever to load. Ah, there we go. Oh, that is loud in my ears. Alright, let's go. That's how fast we'll be able to get up to. I'm guessing 100 in the school bus. They're climbing pretty fast. 115, 120, 125. I think I saw 126 in there somewhere. This one's not as cool to watch because the whole chassis just flexes. It's like a pool in the middle of it. Yeah, that is not as cool as I thought it would be. Crash. And of course, alright, not the best one, not the best one. Let's try... That's not what I was looking for. Let's try a more entertaining track here. The West Coast USA one is pretty sweet. Takes a minute to load, but we'll wait for it. Let's see, how many people do I have watching right now? 2. That's exactly how many people I thought I would have in here. That's fine. And by the way, this is only going to be a pretty quick stream. This is more of a test of just how well this computer can handle it, how well my internet can handle it. Not much more than that. I did also, by the way, since we're in a kind of a techie live stream here, I upgraded actually my entire PC, really, to a Dell Precision T5810. It's a Dell workstation, a pretty high-end one actually. It uses DDR4, and this thing kicks ass. This was a good purchase. Now, I was a little worried when I initially got it because I bought it from shopgoodwill.com, which is kind of like eBay, but usually find things a little cheaper. They said in the listing that it was tested and working. They said it turned on, into BIOS, turned into an operating system. So when you see that, you kind of think that's a big problem. RAM and the hard drive on the CPU. That irked me a little bit. Now, in their defense, they said nothing about including any of those things. So, you know, there's nothing I can really blame them for. Because I knew it had DDR4 was because I thought it included RAM. Because if it did that, this would have been like a great deal of machine equipment. But it didn't. So I ended up having to, well, it's kind of a long story, but I ended up trading a guy who owns a computer shop here locally parts for some DDR4 ECC memory, because it's not just regular people. So I traded him for some parts for my own machine that discontinued. That machine pretty much got it for free anyway, so I guess the RAM, that was not intended at all. So I guess the RAM really cost me nothing. But I wish it had been otherwise. Come on, are we gonna flip over the edge? Not enough speed. Does it drive? about Apple stuff, I've recently been given an Apple IIgs, but it's not any 2GS, it's actually a 2GS, or sorry, a 2E to 2GS upgrade. These are really uncommon. They're not unheard of, but there weren't a lot of them made, and for good reason. They simply weren't really cost effective. There wasn't a reason to upgrade your 2E to a 2GS because it would have been cheaper to just buy a 2GS. So it's a 2E case with the keyboard and the power supply, and they've basically just swapped that for a 2GS motherboard. So they've swapped the 2E, taken that out, put a 2GS motherboard in it. There you go. Now, this was not common or really a worthwhile upgrade for many people for a couple of reasons. The main one is cost. For most people, unless they already had 2GS accessories, it would have cost them more to upgrade and buy all the extra peripherals such as a mouse and a disk drive and a hard drive for this 2GS than it would have to just been to buy one outright. So a lot of people didn't do it, and although this number is completely just out of thin air, I think a bunch of people suspect that there were only about 5,000 of them ever produced, so that makes it pretty uncommon. And of course that means there's far fewer of them today. So I bought a couple things. I bought a serial cable for it and some more RAM. So I've been getting that 2GS up and running, and the one problem I have is that it didn't come with any kind of storage device. No floppy drive, no hard drive. So right now I'm stuck booting it through a serial connection, and you're supposed to be able... Oh crap, that's not what I wanted. Screw it. I wanted to add this car in and put it on the trailer. You're supposed to be able to start the 2GS using ADT Pro and basically make a virtual floppy drive that you can host a floppy image from and then boot it off that. That doesn't seem to work, and I'm not sure if it's my setup or maybe I don't have enough RAM for it or what the deal is, but it just doesn't work. And I don't know what else to look for, so I'm eventually going to go ahead and order either a SCSI card for a hard drive or a floppy drive, because I'd really like to be able to use it. And right now it's not, I can't use it. I just can't. Booting off serial isn't hard, but getting it to work reliably and to actually see the disk image you want it to see just hasn't been really successful in my experience. So if anybody knows where I can find maybe a cheap hard drive, not a hard drive, a cheap SCSI card, or a cheap floppy drive, probably a floppy disk controller as well, for a 2GS, please let me know. I'm scouring eBay every day, but by the time I look, there's probably already somebody who's looked and bought what I'm wanting to buy. Very close, come on. Alright, whatever, close enough. Put our landing gear up and drive away. Struggling a little bit. Maybe once I get up to the top, I'm going to turn right and then angle the camera a little better, and then just floor it, because why not? good at all. You probably would have been quite injured if you were in that. Neat. Alright, reset to the top. Did go the wrong way. That was the problem. Kick down. Got it. That's not right. But we can still watch this crash. That was very unspectacular. A bit disappointed. One of the cars I really like in here, just because it's totally off the wall, is the drag edition of this older car here. It's very hard to drive nicely because it has so much power that your front end lifts up and then you can't steer, and then you also can't stop because it's just going that fast. Alright, let's go that way. Stop right there. Hold it on the handbrake and again. I just love smashing into things with this car. It is so satisfying. Let's chase the trailer. Ram off the tail. Let's go. Is a tragedy. Yeah, we're on fire. I wonder if we can... I've never actually done this. I wonder if we can watch this take off in slow motion. Yes, we can. That's really cool. Oh, I'm definitely going to crash at some point. Probably right about now. Yep. But the engine still runs, so that's a good thing. Oh, and the drive shaft is not broken. That's really surprising. I used to. Oh, now we're... It's actually kind of bad. One drive wheel left. And our engine is overheating. But we're still driving. Let's go. Car that's one right wheel and has been in steady hands on fire is not that easy. Oh, it's out gas. I guess that was Yup. And there goes the gas. Well, that was fun. Let's start again. Nice. Satisfying. I don't enjoy seeing people in huge car crashes, but this is fun. This is really fun. Imagine just like walking out of your apartment over there and seeing a car stuck inside of a lamppost. I wouldn't know what to do. Look at the bottom left there, it gives you kind of an update on what's going on. I just damaged the piston rings and also damaged the car because I over-revved it. Like that. Engine locked up. Trying to start right now. Alright, there we go. So let's go to somewhere else. Apparently the physics model doesn't include the ability to knock down trees or light posts. No, it does not. Which, depending on how you look at it, makes it either a lot more fun or kind of lame. I think it makes it more fun. But to each their own. I guess I would say the little trees, you know, the ones that are like really skinny and tall trees that you could probably just touch and they'd fall over, those should probably knock down when you hit them with a car, not completely destroy your car, but hey, that's just my opinion. Let's get older car here, the V8 Sport. I like these older cars. I guess maybe the Sport one wasn't the best to demonstrate this with, but I like the older cars because of the suspension when you go over bumps. So this is a map that's kind of meant for testing suspension. This was not the best car to choose. I just love watching the suspension work like that. It's very satisfying. Dog says he's actually an orange dog typing somehow. Are you related at all to the red dog? Are you... Is this like kind of a racial thing that we have now? Where now we have orange dogs as well as red dogs? Maybe that was too far, but I'm not sure. like that in slow motion, I'm sure as hell have enough time to decide. Okay, so we're doing it in slow motion because I want to. 16 times slow motion. It doesn't drive anymore because I broke the drive shaft, but it's still running. Right, this might bother some of you. I'm gonna go up at the top here. I apologize that the game freaks out a lot. I jumped in my chair. Whew. I gotta take a breather. Now, don't say you didn't see that coming, because I'm sure you did. I also saw it coming, but... oh my god, that scared me. Pretty bad, aren't we? Just the tip, babe. We're gonna land nose up. We're gonna land nose up. Almost. Sweet. That's pretty good. I didn't move the camera, that was kind of weird. The engine is flooded. Let's go to a different map. That is not the map selection. I want one that I can go really fast on. Probably... Utah's usually pretty open. We'll start over at the highway. Loading, loading, loading. Still loading. It's a big map. Alrighty. We're in the pickup truck. What should we choose as a car? You probably can't see all of them. I like how a lot of these are modeled after real-life cars. For example, this one's a Nissan 200, 200SX. This one would be maybe some sort of Lotus, maybe. This is a Crown Vic. I don't know, maybe this is some kind of Nissan. I don't know. A lot of cool stuff in here. Somebody says crash test car. Alright. We'll drive the crash test car. I've actually never driven this. Actually, like, drives. Okay. Actually, I think I can add attachments to this one. I think that's part of that. So we do front arm. No. Front accessory, there we go. Let's do a pole. Let's put a pole on the front. Oh, I thought it was going to stick the other way. How about a cement block with a bulge? We've excited the cement block, apparently. I don't really like that. Ramp A. Ooh, we could ramp something off of it. And we'll add some thrusters because I don't know what the hell those are. Can't do much with the engine or the diff or the transmission. It needs a horn. It does need a horn, but I don't see an option for that. I'm sure you would see this coming at you though. So, if I line this up kind of straight on with straight on with this section of road and then park it. Let's get another car, park it at the other end, and destroy the hell out of it, because why not? We'll use one of these older cars because they usually have a lot of parts to them that fly off in all sorts of different directions. Bring this down there, and we're already stuck. There we go. I don't know, what should we do? Should we go sideways? Should we go backwards? Forwards? I think sideways would look pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm gonna test this because I don't know what the thruster is supposed to be. I should put this there. Insert it, and then hit I. Okay, so that brings it back to there. How do I activate thruster? Scary as shit. Alright. 100 times slow-mo. Let's watch this thing. Nice. Look at the crumple. Your knees are the crumbles. They are properly fused together now. They have become one. I lied. They're two. So the wheels are like very slightly touching the ground, but it's rocking in the middle because the chassis is Of course, the engine still runs. The drive shaft is not broken. Don't know how, but hey, that's realism in games for you. This guy off-road, let's see what it can do. Especially for like an off-road portion of an off-road vehicle. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. I'll actually grab one of those right now. And we'll go climb some rocks. keyboard, but when you're actually playing with the steering wheel and pedals, it feels very true to life. I've driven off-road quite a bit because I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and the feeling you get through the steering wheel and just the way that the car acts when it's not being driven on tarmac or on pavement is, in this game, very true life, and it's really cool. So now that I've got up here a little bit, let's go down. But let's also be inside. Oh no. Alright, we're good. We're good. Yep. That's good for it. I can never decide which way to look at it. Do I look at it from inside or do I look at it from outside? Alright, got ourselves unstuck. I'm sure driving it like that in high range with the diffinators. There, I flipped it over. Unintentionally, but somebody said flip it over, so there you go. And we'll blow up the engine, you know, just for good measure. Just because you can. Alright, while we're doing that, how about we do a free roam and then one of these. Ghost Desert's a pretty open map. You get a lot of speed out in the desert. Jungle Rock Island's pretty nice. Small Island, I enjoy that one. Let's do this one, because it's kind of like a city. And since we're in a city, we will get an average boring sedan and modify the hell out of it so it's really fast, and then we'll crash it into a tree. How's that sound? Sounds good to me. Come on, game. This actually loads so much faster than it used to on my old machine. It's quite impressive. This game is, I wouldn't say it's heavily CPU based, but it does use a lot of CPU. And having this 8-core Xeon processor in here now, pretty nice. Pretty nice. Come on now. Let's start the game. What CPU do I have? Oh my gosh, I don't remember. I just bought it. The one that was in the system before was a Xeon E5 1620 V3. So it's a socket 2011 CPU. It's a quad core. The one I have in right now is 8 cores. I bought it for $100. Won it on an auction. Before I had, what the hell did I have? I had an i7 3820, and in my first gaming rig that I ever built myself, I had an i5 4690K, which was pretty nice, but I eventually outgrew it, wanted to play some better games, and here we are. Let's choose this, like an old Buick. Let's choose the base model. and then drive it around, get a baseline for what it feels like, and then we'll do some modifications. It's a little jittery. I love the square dash. That is so nice. Customization, it varies per model of car, so I don't know what I can change right now. ABS is for silly people, so no. So we're going for maximum speed, so why don't I just like pretty much take off all of the trim. See if that helps at all. Now I did this once when I was trying to make a rock crawling car, and I actually made it so light that it couldn't crawl up anything because it didn't have any traction. So you gotta kind of find a balance between lightness. I probably need a radiator, don't I? Don't need a driver's seat, I'll just sit on the floor. So you gotta find the balance between, lightness and actually touching the ground enough to go fast, or touching the ground enough to be able to have traction to accelerate. I guess we have to have a steering wheel, no taillights, none of that. Tow hitch, no line locks. I got a line lock. It's automatic, so that's gray interior. That is a great color. No front bumper. I'm basically just removing everything from this car, aren't I? No rear bumper. No doors. None of them. I don't want any of those. Probably have one door left. Alright, no doors. I guess we have to have an engine. But I'm going to see if we can get a different engine in here. Ooh, we got a 3.8 V6. I'll take it. No exhaust because I don't want one. We'll go with the stage 1 supercharger. I think that sounds like a good idea. Nitrous. Putting nitrous in this thing. 3-speed auto. How about... let's do a 4-speed because I can't really shift as it is. Locking torque converter. Wow, you can do a lot with this particular car. And I don't remember how differentials go, so I'm just not going to do it right now. We want a 10-pound, and it's like 200 is the biggest we can go. Can we go bigger than 200 if we do adjustable? Probably, but I don't know how to do that. Alright. Front suspension. I guess we need front suspension, so let's do we have racing stuff? Yes, we do. I don't even know what to call this car after, like, I don't know. Sport brakes, so we can stop even though we're probably going to be in the air. Sport. Wait, no, we want race. Race. Stops you faster, probably. Wheels, whatever. Suspension. Here we go again. Race. Race again. Sport brakes with race pads. Kind of wish I didn't have to refresh every time. It's a little irritating. And keep the wheels the same. Oh wait, change tires. I didn't know that. Low rolling resistance or sport? Let's do sport. And I'll also change the front ones. Must have missed that. What are we doing? Sport 17s, I think. Yeah, 17s. And trunk? Nope. Don't want any of that. Alright, so for the none of you who are still watching, there's like 3 of you, here we go. We have this awful monstrosity of a brown piece of car. I've actually taken so long that I need to set it to daytime. Turn on the nitrous, and we floor it. Oh. Well, it's dead. I couldn't get enough speed up to actually get traction. Well, I guess we'll just come to a stop sign. Let's try that one again. I think we're gonna have to go with a little bit smaller of a nitrous shot. See, it releases a little bit. I don't know if that's normal. Probably is. Damn, did it again. Alright, let's go for a smaller bottle of nitrous. All the way down in this tree. We'll do a 50. Maybe it can take a 50. Although maybe it doesn't matter, because I think 50 is just the amount of it. It's not necessarily the pressure. There it goes. Alright, so we got up to 100 something, which was better. It just has so much torque. Alright, well, whatever. We can see the boost. Alright, well, we're nearing an hour now. This was supposed to be like a 20-minute stream just to kind of test how everything goes. And it seems to be streaming pretty well. The quality's alright, so that's good. Jump this car off something, and then I am gonna end the stream because I didn't intend to be on here that long. First, we have to find something to jump off. I didn't see that. Okay. Well, there you have it. That is a properly destroyed car. Thank you for joining me if you stayed this long. I know that many of you did not, because I was very boring throughout this whole thing, but, you know, if you came and watched, thank you anyway. There'll be another live stream at some point in the future. Don't know when. Stick around, find out when. And as always, I thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video or the next live stream.